I think very difficult for them to sort of publicly support what I'm trying to do.
Right.
But gradually, as I said, try to engage some politicians in the Liberal Democratic Party to...
They're working from within.
Yeah. Why did you ask about the Komeito?
It's just that I practice Buddhism. I'm a member of the Soka Gakkai, so I'm interested to find out.
So you're a member of Soka Gakkai?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, sure.
In the British Parliament, we have special interest groups for MPs, you know, Science Committee, Human Rights Committee, and those sorts of committees. Would it be appropriate to try and contact some of those committees in the Japanese Parliament to see if you can get some interest from them?
Committees in the Japanese Parliament is quite different from the committees in UK. I mean, in UK, my understanding is that the MPs have very specialized interests and activities and stay long enough in various committees. So they can do by their own power to do certain things. But in the Japanese Parliament, committees, members sort of move from one committee to another, and there are very few sort of experts in various fields. And it's more of the party lines that can decide whether you take up this or that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I think
Yes, 'cause we
to
have
approach the
cross-party
parties
groups.
or the individual MPs.
Would you be able and willing to support documents or endorse documents that we send to various European parliaments? Because I've been trying to get MPs interested in this, and obviously if my name is under it, then that doesn't mean that much. Maybe if your name and a few other
Sure.
MPs from around the world is underneath it, it'll help a bit.
Yes.
Okay, that would
Yes.
be great. Thank you very much.
Wow.
For that, I think it's better for me to enlist maybe a few other MPs in our party to sign, rather than just by myself.
Yeah.
I think wider ground the better.
No, we would then also seek the endorsement from either European members of Parliament or Mr. Meacher. We just would like a big global list, basically, before I send it off to a Dutch MP, for
Yes.
instance, or maybe somebody from Italy sends it off to an Italian MP, and so we can sort of grow that list slowly.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
As I said in the Parliament, Mr. Meacher is in minority, Mr. Chiesa is in minority. I am in minority at the moment. But then, if we work together, we can be, more than just minorities in our own country.
There was a question over there.
Yeah, how have the young people in Japan reacted to you coming out and talking about it in Japan?
For those who are sort of interested in internet and so on, more younger people are very much supportive of what I did. And I was very overwhelmed by the fact that many young people actually knew a lot about the 9/11.
All right. In the back, question?
Just a question. Did you took contacts with Ron Paul or Denis Kucinich?
Yes, actually Ron Paul has a radio program worldwide, and he has a man in Japan who does this radio program. So I was interviewed by that person for radio program for 1.5 hours. And I think Professor Griffin listened to that radio program and thanked me for the fact that I had quoted him in that radio program.
Danish corner.
How does 9/11 Truth fit into your existing political platform? Or in other words, why do you go into 9/11 Truth?
One important factor was that, Japan followed USA to have gone into the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And the government has been saying, 24 Japanese were killed there in New York. So it's not their war, but our war as well, war on terror. So I asked the Prime Minister in the main chamber in November last year, Prime Minister, is terrorism crime or war? His answer was crime. But 9/11 was well-planned, organized act. Therefore, we supported the war on terror. So in this question in January, I asked, if it was a crime, what have you found about the victims? And actually, after the 10th of January, I have also done 2 rounds of questions and answers with the Prime Minister. We have another system of giving writing questions and answers. They are quite official because of written documents. But so far, Japanese government has not answered to say that, yes, we have done this research or investigation, so that who killed those 24 people, Japanese, or how they were killed. Even you remember, the Japanese government doesn't know if DNA test was conducted for certain people. Out of 24 Japanese, 11 sort of people, for sure, some bodies or fragments of the bodies and so on, or ashes or whatever were found. But 13 of them, the US court sentenced that they were dead. But the Japanese government wouldn't say if DNA test was done for those 13. So for a crime, no investigation clearly, and don't know who did it and how did it, then how come, based on that, we have gone into the warfare in Afghanistan and Iraq? So this was the starting point. And therefore, as someone was saying, I feel that this is a turning point. You know, internet is a creation of the US military. And now the civilians are making use of a creation by military. And and also another political point is that, you know, for the Kennedy assassination or Pearl Harbor attack and Cuban crisis and so on, people talk a lot about circumstantial evidences. But this time, because of so many evidences of the films, videos, and physical evidences, now we can say to those, quote, conspirators, you can never hide things anymore. And this is, I think, is very important that we are going out from internet world to the real world. To say to the people, you can never hide things anymore.
Okay, I'll have one more question because we're already 30 minutes behind our tight schedule. So one more question.
Mr. Fujita, as a result of
Yes.
as a result of the September the 11th attacks around the world, many governments are taking away the individual rights and freedoms and privacy of normal citizens. Is this going on in Japan as well by the main government?
Yes. I think various what they call subtle ways. Quite a few things are happening. Therefore, I think again the fact that we are now dealing with the information which we can have access to, and therefore we can also say to the government of Japan that you cannot hide things anymore. And that, I think, would be a good protection for those, you know, whose rights have been deprived of and so on.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I hope they understand what I said. Yes.
Okay, I realize there are many more questions, but really we would like to, you know, discuss one or two things like the European strategy before this afternoon is over, which is one of the reasons certainly that we're all here. I have Yuki's mail address, and maybe if we send him a mail, start it off with the subject European Meeting Amsterdam, so he will know that he gets a mail from some of the people who's in this room. That will make it easier for him to filter out sort of the tornado of mail